Perfect. Let's start. So, good morning, everyone. Today we'll be going to discuss how a SIM will be deployed in an organization and different types of deployments. Because your company might be a small startup, but there might be a chance where it requires for you to implement SIM. But since it is completely, what do you say, cost uh, related aspects for any small company to have, they can give services to other companies, and mid-sized companies, they can bear some responsibilities and they can give some of these sim related activities to some other third party company. And the same way, very big companies, what they do most of the times, they will be holding their entire sim setup in their companies. Those aspects we are going to see it now. Okay, now these are the different types of sim deployment options: self-hosted or self-managed. That means you are going to host entire sim environment and you are going to manage it on your own. In the sense, the employees also belongs to you, where the correlation, aggregation, and everything will happens there only. Okay, where you are alerting, analytics, reporting, everything happens within your organization only. That is called as in-house or self-hosted. Okay, and this is applicable for the companies who are having better financial support from their sources, who can handle this. Then only if they come to if they conclude that particular thing, like they have the resources and the like software, hardware, and as well as the money and the support from the management, then they will be going for this. Usually this thing happens for very big organizations. So, and uh, if they are, if their IT teams are so much strong, then they will take it. But few big companies still, they don't go for the for this option. Why, we will discuss it in next class. Okay, if you see this particular slide, let me check. If you see this particular slide, this is called as visualization. Okay, means like all your graphs. This is like alerts. This is like send the more than that you have to buy. It's like MBs of data that you use for processing the logs. That comes from your event source to your Splunk. The size of the log does matters for them, because um, per day, like, you can go for a license of 100 GB or 200 GB or something like that. Okay, mid-sized companies, they go for that, so that you can only send the logs from what do you say, the log management server, which you bought it from some other company, or you can get some free softwares also, like ArcSight will give you free log management server, or if you see some other open source systems are also there. They also give free log management or some people, what they do, they just send the log files as a raw format and they'll just store it there. Okay, so this is called as log retention. Okay. Then, so this is our correlation rules. Okay, first you'll get the event source from like your Windows machines, Linux machines, all these are event source. From there you collect the logs and you aggregate them. Once if it gets correlated, then you will send, you can use this for any of all these things. Okay, that is what the overall picture. But coming down here, all these aspects whatever we are discussing now, so you guys not able, can you share the link to join, guys? Okay, guys, this is a problem. Okay, I would request, I already shared it. If you just go to the somewhat here you will come to know about it. Uh, uh, that's what this is a problem. Okay, fine then. Okay, now we'll be as I said, this is like in-house related hosting. In in-house related hosting, all the aspects of your SIM, right from the event collection to coming to some kind of understanding that what your threat and vulnerability management process you adapted based on the information what you have got. See, after you get the information, you have to some like all these things why you're doing, you're trying to identify some threats and vulnerabilities um, of your organization. That will be the output, right? So you are going to start using that in threat and vulnerability management process. Then they will take it and they will try to mitigate them. Okay, if some control has properly not implemented, then you have come to know about this after getting the logs and doing everything, and you are threat and vulnerability manage, you give it to the threat management team or vulnerability management team, or like the management itself, they will have a team which takes care of all these uh, inputs from the sim, and they will start mitigating it. So this is called as in-house, everything is in your control. Okay, but whereas you have all your what do you say, mm, what do you say, uh, the systems in place at your location, and what you want is you just send the log source, like um, the logs whatever you are collected, okay, to your like some service provider provides SIM services to you, security SOC services to you. Okay, he might be using any tool. He might be using, as I said, Splunk, ArcSight, or like what do you say, McAfee, or anything he might be using. Okay, so logarithm or anything he might be using. But you don't worry about it. You are just sending the logs, okay, collected from your machine, okay, to some MSSP. Here, what happens? The software, whatever he is using, might not be using for you alone. Okay, what he might have done, the logs from coming from this particular location. Let me close this. I don't know why it is not coming. Let me check. So the logs are coming from the source, event source, right? That particular event source, they might be just storing in one location of all the logs, and the event source just pumping that stream of logs to this company. And this company, whoever, I don't know, today, unfortunately, my pen marker is not working at all. I got up very late. I am extremely sorry. You have to bear with this for some time. Okay. So, what happens here? You might be seeing, uh, okay, you might be seeing this is the company organization, and here he might be storing all the logs, okay, for his sake, for log retention. Okay, So all the logs will come to this location from various systems. Okay, and this is nothing but the same. Okay, okay, event source. This is the event source, and this event source they are collecting in their own database. Okay, where this is a folder. Okay, that belongs to my company X. He is serving other companies as well. Company Y, company Z. Okay, company A, company B, like that. So these are different organizations, and he has given a space over here, and he will be monitoring all the logs at the same instance of time, and you have written the correlations, okay, for all of them. Common correlation rules he might have written, okay, for whichever the company. Anytime if a correlation rule triggers, then they will take it, they will start analyzing the alerts. Remember that. Okay, this is the real time what happens in MSSP. Event source is nothing but the logs that are collected by organization A and sends it to organization B, who is MSSP. Organization B is MSSP. Organization B receives the logs, okay, and they have an option of storing it as separately for your own organization depending upon the type of contract. So they'll be monitoring all the incoming logs, and you have your own specific correlation rules which you have requested, okay, or they have come up, and as soon as when they get triggered, then they will go for an alerting mechanism. Or the second approach is, if you are like mid-tier company but you don't want to special, what do you say, kind of monitoring, but you want a common package, then what you'll do, they will place you along with other some other smaller mid, mid-type customers, and what they do, they will put the logs, and all the logs whichever coming into the organization, real timely they will be monitoring whatever the logs they are coming. Okay, from here they are coming, right? Each and every log they'll be monitoring from the entry pipe. Okay, from here if they are coming, this pipe they will be monitoring. As soon as when they are monitoring them, if how they monitor, they will have the correlation rules written. The same correlation rules are applicable for everyone, and as soon as any one correlation, any event matches the correlation, then alerting mechanism, normalization starts, and alerting mechanism starts. And of this alerting thing, okay, what you will get is, um, this particular alerting will taken by one SOC analyst, and SOC analyst starts monitoring it, and he start analyzing it, what is the issue, why it got, and immediately he will be reporting the analysis to L2, and L2 has to I mean like confirm whether the analysis whatever he has done is perfect or not by just going through it. And if anything has to be taken care, they will directly communicate with this particular company over the mail, like some ticketing tools like ServiceNow or anything. Okay, the mail gets triggered over service now, and it will go to this any of representative of this company from the security point of view, and he will take it and he will go further, proceed with the IT team, and then he'll get it resolved. So this is what the process it is. Okay, so here, what is the advantage? No tailoring of your correlation rules. Okay, correlation rules won't get tailored for you. Okay, it is common. Okay, if you want tailored correlation rules, you have to spend extra money for that. Okay, so but some companies, mid-sized companies, where they want to have, okay, at an extent where the basic correlation rules are everything, or these guys might be experts, they might have covered better security, what do you say, correlation rules, so the expertise are not over here. So then with that they will be able to understand that this will be the best, what do you say, approach for getting their security operations center uh, necessities. Okay, so now this is called as managed service. Okay, now let's go to the next. Okay, let me clear this. Yes. Okay, cancel. Okay, next. Then what you do is, you the collection mechanism. What you'll do is, boss, I am little, what do you say, kind of uh, over conscious person, where I don't want to have any sort of logs sharing with my, I mean, like log storage. I doesn't want to store any logs in MSSP. They have to connect to me, okay, for monitoring also. Okay, kind of your aggregation and correlation should also happen through me only. Okay, means all the live logs comes to me, and I don't want to give you a copy. And what you have to do is, you have to just monitor the logs, real time logs, whatever they are getting dropped into my collection bucket, and you get it correlated, and you get it alerted, and you just let me know whenever it is like there is, so with this, what is the advantage? You are also going to know about the, you are using this, you are sharing the responsibilities of your entire SOC. Okay, um, jointly managed is like morning you come, okay, to office, they will connect to your I mean, like you will connect to your own SOC because this is your company environment. Then you do it till 9 o'clock, and evening what happens, you will be going off. So for the just sake of night shifts, you have hired one MSSP. Okay, they will connect from remotely to your organization, and what they do is, they will actually connect to you. So your organization, they will start monitoring, and if any correlation happens, then they will alert, it'll automatically alert. Then they will take responsibility from there and communicating with your IT team. Okay, so this is jointly managed, in the sense everything is hosted at your, but they have access. Okay, it's something like some people working for working from home, like you have um, entire office setup over there. Okay, um, now earlier I was an employee, direct employee, and I was directly working in the office. But now we hired a contract employee because this pandemic, everyone is working from home. But the vendor is also, what he'll do, he'll connect from his home to the office. New contract employee will be connecting from home to the office, and from there he'll be connecting to our consoles, SOC consoles, and then he'll be monitoring them, and then he'll, so this is jointly managed. So MSSP is uh, like managed security services provider. Okay, so their main task is to give you the service related to the security aspects in whichever way you want. Basically, MSSPs, 90% of of them will give you only the SOC related. 90% they say managed security services, but it's nothing but SOC services. Okay, and who are the main players in this? IBM is the main player, Accenture is the main player, Cognizant is the main player. Now, very few years before, what do you say? And Capgemini is also a very big player. And now, very a few years before, Cisco, sorry, not Cisco, Infosys and Wipro, they slowly got into this environment by seeing the type of revenues what other companies are posting through MSSPs. So this is about the managed. Managed means you and me together will do it. You just provide me the resources. Let's have everything from my side itself. All those things. As I said, this is also something related to, if you see, observe this, self-hosted, MSSP managed, and cloud. Everything will be the same, but your MSSP's environment, whatever the SIM tool he is using, right? That entire SIM tool is in the cloud. Instead of earlier it was there in his own location, now it is in cloud. That's it. Okay. Jointly also you have the option of like placing all your SOC environment in cloud. Okay, and that same thing, the I mean MSSPs, whoever is working for you, they can connect to the cloud. Okay, for looking at the correlations and alerting and reporting things. That particular MSSP teams can actually connect to the cloud, and they can actually do the rest of their day activities. Okay, so you can have self-managed, cloud self-managed. Okay, what is the cloud self-managed? Okay, you will be sending the events to the organization. Earlier, what is the self-managed? Just a minute. Okay, what is the self-managed? Yeah, this is a self-managed. Everything was under your control. Everything, everything was under your control, self-managed. But if you come to this particular thing, you what you have given, log storage, everything is there at the, what do you say, MSSP security. Like you buy the SOC, what do you say, collection thing, and aggregating the logs from different locate, I mean like locations will be taken care by them, and pushing it to the Splunk alerting and all, for correlation and all will be taken care by like MS. In this particular case, the MSSP can be one of your cloud service provider. Okay, just remember that. Okay, now this is a hybrid. Okay, hybrid is, as I said, like it can be of like you can take it in a different way, where you are uh, uh, like customers will be coming and not customers, your IT employees will be coming and working on your in-house related things. Okay, there can be of two chances from the MSSPs. They might be connecting to your this thing, your collection thing, or they might be collecting, I mean they'll be having a copy at their end, and from there they'll be monitoring. Whichever it is the way, it is called as hybrid. Means mixture of you and as well as MSSP together form as hybrid thing. Okay, it can be jointly managed. Okay, okay. So when a SIM implementation fails, okay, just remember that you don't have any scope, like what you have to look for, what are my company threats. Okay, who are my what might be my weaknesses. Okay, how am I going to get affected. Okay, is there any recovery mechanism there for me. Okay, all these questions they ask the management, they should keep asking these questions again and again, so that they will get some sort of planning into the in the time of I mean, like if they start planning now, they can manage during the crisis time. So if they doesn't do any such planning, and if they just buy the Splunk and put it, and if you throw all the logs to them, and if you are just monitoring each and every log that is coming to the SIM, definitely you are going to get failed, because it is SIM has to be used in a such a way that to be more precisely in an intelligent way what you are looking and why you are looking. Okay, what is the advantage of it? So in this particular way only you have to see. If you don't have any proper planning, you cannot do that particular thing whatever I said sometime before, like where you won't get to know about the yield out of this particular SIM, where you won't get any, you cannot rip any benefits out of it. If you're just pushing the logs, then what you will see, for everything you will get an alert. Okay, if you buy some correlation rules from outside, which are not related to your, because some companies they sell correlation rules also. Okay, but they are not suited for you, and you have pulled thousands of correlation rules into your machine. For every 10 minutes, 10 seconds one alert is coming, and you have only 10 resources, and there are so many alerts, and you cannot log, I mean, like go through each and every alert. So how you are going to prioritize your alerts and everything? Because you have to make sure each and everything is not required, only necessary things to be monitored. So for that, planning is everything. Okay, so faulty deployment strategies, like um, as I said, same thing. One more thing, you cannot have like non-required systems to be collecting the logs. Means like non I mean non-required. I mean monitoring is not required for some systems, but still you are connecting the logs and you are sending it to the SIM. Yeah, sending them to the log management server is not an issue. But what we are talking is, where log management are we monitoring? No, we are monitoring, the SOC engineers are monitoring through SIM. So why you need unnecessary logs sending it to the SIM? Because those are all irrelevant data for me, which is just overriding my systems. Because of that high volume of the alerts, whatever I am getting, my SOC will not work efficiently. So just remember this particular thing. Okay, so that is nothing but like faulty strategies itself. If you don't plan properly, your deployment strategy will go wrong. So when these things happen, okay, they will think that, okay, they doesn't plan properly, they doesn't think what things we can do using our Splunk, SOC, I mean SIM, whatever we have bought now. What are the assets we are going to um, focus more at point of time, so that we can add other assets slowly. So now I want to add billing database related for this particular 10 days of time. So once if I am able to monitor it for another 15 days, then I'll go for the Windows machines deployment. Then I'll go for the Linux for the next another 2 months. So this way they do strategy. The oversight of the management should be like this. But in case if you connect on the same day itself all the machines, and as I said, you'll be flooded with lot of false alarms. You'll be like SOC engineers will be flooded with lot of unnecessary alerts. Then what happens? The resource get fed up and they might leave the company. Now it's very hard for any organization to identify the security engines, and that to the people from the SOC. Because two things, if you get into a product based organization, yes, you might be having an opportunity of working into morning shifts only. But if you are working for some what do you say, uh, kind of companies like MSSPs, you have the chances of working in like either morning 7 to 3 o'clock shift, or 2 o'clock to night 11 o'clock shift. Okay, so these two options will be there for Indian employees. So better, like in this kind of environments, like they have to be like monitor around the clock. They have better opportunities. They just leave from there and they go to some other locations where they really care about their sims and care about their employees. Okay, so this is the operational side, this thing. So don't ever think that it is a plug and play device, just taking and connecting all the devices and throwing a bunch of logs to it to get alerts. These are not going to help anyone. Okay, so how you have to use it? You have to make sure, like, take few devices and send those logs and monitor it for some time. If you are not getting any false positives, false positive means false alarms, means like something like users might be have actually done something. There is a genuine case, so you might increase the limit of this values of um, like normalizing values, like instead of 5, you might be making it as 7 or 8 or 10 login attempts or something like that. Okay, so you will be going to study them. Okay, so then you will come to know about this, that okay, operation side, these are the important things. The management should have oversight of what they should do well in prepared, and as well as they shouldn't assume these are not plugin. Discussed many of them. Let's go. No question and answers for you guys now. We'll be moving forward. I hope I will try to get some uh, Splunk. Okay, I don't think this is the one. Okay, course output. Okay, okay. Let me check whether this is the one or other one. Okay, no, 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 no. The other one. Okay, I know that. Yeah. So now we are going to get into Splunk. Okay, from today onwards. So I hope everything is. Anyone has got any questions? Let me check here. Fantastic. No one has got any questions. Okay. Now, what is Splunk? And we are going to discuss different roles are there in Splunk. For now, we'll discuss about the admin role in this particular thing. Okay. Okay. What is a Splunk? Splunk is nothing but a tool which is used for data analytics. Okay, means collect the logs and perform some operation for me based on the queries which I give. Okay, and provide me some analytical results like your graphs, reports, and all these things. Okay, and what I want to clarify before we start, you remember Splunk Enterprise and Splunk Enterprise Security both are different. Okay, first, for some time, you should have hands on experience in Splunk, in understanding the logs, in playing around with the logs, and then you go to the Splunk environment. Excuse me. But what I see, majority of the people, what they do, they directly go to the Splunk Enterprise, they directly install Splunk Enterprise, and they won't get to know about anything over there. Then they'll scratch their head and they will leave their aspiration of I mean, like achieving the Splunk Enterprise certification, or what do you say, into some join, I mean like a job aspirant who wants to learn Splunk Enterprise, so they don't further proceed because of this particular thing. I suggest you, every one of you, just use Splunk for few days in learning the Splunk queries in a better way. I'm not denying you cannot do that in a Splunk Enterprise, but first you get your shoe, I mean like your feet into the shoes where it fits really good. Means Splunk is the first thing. Then you get comfort. Then you go for other things within the Splunk. That is the reason why I requested you guys to ins install Splunk first instead of Splunk Enterprise. So we discuss a lot of things, sending the logs to the Splunk or something like that, right? Who are those people? First, we have to discuss about them because we are just SOC L1 and L2 or even few L3s. They doesn't even never know like how the logs are sent from the other machine to you, because the entire thing will be taken care by the SOC administrators. So we should learn about them first, because it is the main bread and butter. Because of that particular thing only your entire organization is running. If those guys do some mistake, all of us will be in trouble. If they do proper thing, we'll all get a chance to do better work in our uh, field. Okay, so let's just discuss upon like different roles. Before to that, L1 is the one who actually receives, I mean like who will be keep monitoring all the logs. Okay, whatever they are coming, they don't monitor the logs whatever there's, I mean like coming in, but based on the alerts that are coming in. Okay, once they get some alert, immediately they will jump in and start doing the analysis, and they will report the analysis back by creating a service now ticket. And if there is any information that has to be updated, all those information he will update, like at what time attack started, whether it is going on, or from which source it started, what is the file which led to this attack. All such information he'll be right noting it down. So then after that, the L2 comes into the picture. If this guy has done this thing, and L2 what he'll do, he will take that particular thing, and he will start looking at the same ticket. Means because it is assigned to L2 now. L2 what he'll do, he'll start looking at, and he'll see, is the are there any in any other assets the same kind of behavior happened. Assets means any of the machines, okay, are from the same IP address, any other traffic has come, or this kind of like extra analysis he'll start doing it. And then once he has done that, he will be concluding that particular ticket, and he'll be communicating with the antivirus team or networking team, respective teams he'll be communicating. Okay, and then at the end they have to fix it. So these guys will work together, will fix it. Okay, and next, L3s. L3s is the managers. If there are any issues within the team, he has to take care of that, and he has to lead the team, and he has to make sure of the shifts related things has to be taken care. uh, to me, okay, L3s in SOC, if there is any big issue, then only they'll jump in. Okay, usually L3s will be like might be handling multiple teams in MSSPs, but whereas in product based company, some of your security related managers will be acting as your L3. Okay, just remember that. Now, so either it can be like a SOC engineer, analyst. There are three different. These three people are called as SOC analyst: L1, L2, L3, or analyst. SOC analyst L1, SOC analyst L2, SOC analyst L3, because they are analyzing. Okay, and there is something called as administrator. Okay, so who is that administrator? SOC administrator, okay, the SIM admin, okay, okay. So a person who is having very good experience in Linux and Windows, okay, who can actually get into this administration role, into the SOC itself, who can come into the SOC, okay, and SOC administration as a thing you can say that, and you can who can actually who is having, but he is having might be like very less Linux knowledge or Windows knowledge, but if you have, I mean, holistically, who can become either SAC admin or normal SOC analyst. Okay, so if you are having very good visualization tools experience, like you take Splunk and you write beautiful queries, or you can take Tableau, you can write beautiful queries. Then even a SQL, if you write and if you write beautiful queries, statistical queries, then yes, you are right person, right candidate for the Splunk related activities. Okay. Does it require like you should have prior experience of all these tools? No, it is not required. Okay. You can learn it, right? That's what we are doing now. Okay. So system administrators will become who are having with better knowledge, they can become means SOC admins, I mean SIM admins, okay, SIM administrators, and visualization guys will become the analyst, okay. They should have some other Excel knowledge or something like that for visualization side, analyst role. So the roles are these: analyst you can become, or architect. Architect is nothing but like who is already in your company, like who is doing like the capacity related. Boss, per day we are getting these many logs from each machine. So total together we have 100 machines. Each machine is sending 1 GB of data. So you need 100 machines means like you need um, so for example each machine 1 GB data of logs, you need 100 you have 100 machines, so 100 GB is the SIM capacity for you, and having some extra 30% space is always recommended. So for the capacity of like 30 days, it is somewhere around uh, usually 3 times they do, not 30%. If you are having every day 100 GB of data coming to your Splunk, so uh, total 300 GB of data will be for means 3 TB. So the capacity of the Splunk, whatever the data which you are going to purchase, should be 3 times. In the sense, like sometimes attackers, they bombard with a lot of traffic, right? So for all those things, you need to have triple the capacity. So the Splunk license, what I am going to buy is um, three. What do you say per day? 300 GB. Okay, so based on that you'll be charged. Okay, and he has to now bandwidth related thing he has to calculate. Now the storage thing he'll see. Okay, what is the memory it is required for your system, what is the RAM it is required, all those things also he'll be analyzed. So he's architect, what is the best systems it is required for you to handle your SOC environment, that will be taken care by the, not your IT environment, for your SOC environment. That is called as SOC architect. Okay, SIM architect or SOC architect, you can say. So SOC analyst, SOC architect, or SOC SIM architect, anything you can say. And the if you are a person who is having better security expert, you can get into the SOC. Okay, a analyst with these tools, or an architect with the mentioned capabilities, or a person with security experience, any of these roles who are there already can become a uh, what do you say, SOC engineer, or SOC administrator, or SOC architect, or anything. Okay, okay, fine. Let's go to the next slide. So now we are going to discuss about the machine data. Okay, what is machine data? Remember, if they might ask you what is machine data? Sorry. Okay, machine data is nothing but the data which is coming from all of your systems. Your mobile is on a machine, your laptop is a machine, your PC is a machine, okay? And anything that has data in it is nothing but the machine, okay? For the data coming from those things is nothing but the machine data. So if you see this, you have a lot of machines over here, and all any machine you can feed it to the Splunk, okay? So now what you have to see is you are getting the logs from one location. Don't see everything, just to see that this is the source from one source, this is from another source, okay? Just I am pictorially representing it, okay? Before you get the logs, what you have to do, you have to filter it, treat it properly as an real world example. Water you get it, okay? Will you drink it directly? No, you have to treat it first, then you store it, okay? Okay, this is from the SOC perspective or SIEM perspective I'm talking about, not log management perspective. Whatever the logs you get from different sources, either it can be from ground, or it can be from surface, or it can be from Linux machine, or it can be from Windows machine. First you have to treat that data by adding, removing, okay, appending, do something and make it more meaningful and store it, okay? And whoever want, they will utilize it, okay? That is what my entire intention over to depict this picture over here. I don't think you might have not seen this example anywhere. I'll 100% sure, because I searched it and got it done, okay? So now the data you are getting it, okay, from this location or this location. What type of water I'm getting? It is either Nalka, I mean, like, is it like sewage water, or it is river water, or it is pure lake water? So, in the sense, sewage water means a lot of dust in it. Okay. Um, I mean, lot of like kind of dirt in it. Okay, but whereas groundwater, it is to certain extent purified, but still some kind of microparticles will be there. Chemical kind of microparticles will be there, which we have to use it. But if it is already a lake water which is pure and drinkable, and it is in a safe place, okay, it requires less treatment. For sewage requires more treatment, okay, and for the ground requires, okay, moderate treatment. Same way we have kind of structured data, unstructured data, and semi structured data, okay? Semi structured data we'll be discussing in some time, but just remember there are three types, okay? But for now you understand two things: what is structured and what is unstructured. Semi structured, as I said, it will be like groundwater, which are like almost filtered, but you have the heavy chemical particles, okay? uh, Already structured data and unstructured data, you can, structured data is nothing but like you are buying a water bubble from outside. It is completely structured data. You're taking it and you're using it for cooking, okay? But whereas, what if you are using RO at your home, okay? So you are taking the like semi-structured data from your groundwater, you're treating it, and then you are giving it. It is like not required heavy machinery or anything to treat them, just light treatment is enough. What if you are having some kind of sewage from there, you are trying to get the pure water, then you have to invest a lot of big machine equipment where they will that particular sewage water will get treated properly. So, but for now we'll discuss about only two things: structured and unstructured. Means like sewage kind of the completely dirty data where you have to focus a lot of what do you say, processing thing is required, but whereas in structure you don't require. So tables and all these things are called as, like, you if you take an Excel, okay, that is called as structured data. Means all are in table. SQL, you take it structured data, means which field what it should be there, it will be there. Whatever you push there, it will go there. Okay. And like, whatever you have in your organization, okay, like these are all numbers, dates, they will come in that particular field only, right? They will get when they get stored. And the data in your entire organization, only 25% of the enterprise data is the structured data. Okay. You don't require much data for this. Okay. Easier to manage and protect, because you know where that structured data is. It will be there. We had previously discussed, you have a database, how you can secure it. As I said, like file integrity as one example. Okay. How you can test, because you can precisely do some activities if you know where the structured data is there. But unstructured data, okay, your music file, it is also a file. Is it a structured one? The file will have some kind of gibberish, everything. Correct, right? Images, words. One image will be like 6 MB, another image will be 6.1 MB, another image will be 12 MB. It's like unstructured. Okay. And you have word files, like you have written some very book, um, without any, what do you say, like 100 pages are there, and you have another document only 10 pages are there. These are all like unstructured data. You cannot. So that kind of data you will have 80% in your organization. Okay. It requires a lot of storage compared to structured data, and is more difficult to manage as well. Okay. But will you leave that like that? No, you have to focus security on them as well. Suppose you have some secret formula of your organization. Okay. That how it is making every day 1 billion in what do you say, kind of trading. Okay. So algorithm is there, that is running from your own office. Okay. Every time the algorithm is written in a some small text file, and something going on there, and what are the today's data it has to pull from, will be stored in that particular algorithm. So the text file is important thing, right, for us. Okay. It is in a text file. Everyone, some new data is getting added to the text file, and it has to be kept secretly. So you have to focus on that, and even it is unstructured data. Okay. And and your log files, forget about it. All your log files are unstructured data. This is by default. All your log files, because one line of event, it will be 1,000 characters. Another line event will have uh, 500 characters. One line of event will have fields like time, process ID, um, process name, uh, severity, type of message, and few of the logs will have some other information also, from username, from which machine it came, like that, and which what do you say, the source IP. um, so extra fields might be there. Okay. So log is an unstructured data, but few logs will have more number of fields, and the next log comes within the from the same machine itself, the next log will have only 5 fields. Okay. So size of each event might be also be varying, so it is why the logs are unstructured. Okay. Just remember that. uh, then coming down, so these are the things, like structured means like your SQL. Okay. Related SQL, MySQL, all these things are structured. Unstructured means text file, log files, music files, your what do you say, your any of your images, videos, all these comes under unstructured. Just remember that. Okay. Then I said unstructured, structured, semi-structured. Okay, if you take this example, semi-structured, okay, because you know that this will be like I have already told, this is a text file which is unstructured. This is a structured one where you have rows and columns, everything is there. But if you come to know about the semi-structure, they are partially structured. How you know? If you take any JSON file, HTML, or XML files, okay, you see the tags for them. Under the tag, you will have the information. Correct, right? But you will definitely will have the tags. Under each tag only that information has to be stored, but they are in a file format, some kind of different file format. They are not in a tabular format. Okay, so those are called as semi-structured. Remember XML. Okay, like what is the email? Email you should have to, should have from, definitely you should have, and all the content will be there in the body, and in the subject related information is there. Correct, right? That is also, email is also one semi-structured data. XML, all university, one student is there, some data where you are pulling in from some database and you are storing it in some XML, okay, and you are taking it to some other web server and showing it to the customer, okay, because the web page might be asking the data in XML, okay, so it is going out. Now you have to monitor it, which XML files are going. So use semi-structured data also. So you have three different types of data to be monitored: structured data, unstructured data, and semi-structured data. Monitoring structured data is not an issue, okay, or filtering, like treating, using this data, unstructured data, it is very difficult. Correct, right? Now this is little easy for us. Okay, if you find this, next to it put it as student, and next write it as John, and next put it as 18, like that you can create a table easily. But for this it is very difficult. You have to find an approach to store this data. Okay, so that we'll be discussing. Just go through this video. Unfortunately, I'm not going to share these slides, guys, because with a lot of effort I put, I don't want to lose them. But still, you guys will get this in the videos. Don't worry about that. Okay. Then coming down to the Splunk architecture. Okay, these things you might be like easily like a butter. You will be able to like cakewalk. It will be for you now from now on, because you have heard about all these things already. So one one thing, you are getting the logs from different locations, and they are getting forwarded to one server in SIEM. Correct, right? One server in SIEM. That particular where it is, yeah, okay. So that particular server is called as index server, indexer, or index server. Okay, you can say that. Okay, what this does do, this collects all the logs from various machines and stores in it in a database in a folder structure. Like Windows logs from Windows machines will come and store here. Okay, and it will have like, these are the Windows type, and this is the logs from this particular host name. Okay, host name, because it has done some kind of, what do you say, treatment to the log. Okay, treatment to the log, and it stored like other information about the log, like that. Complete each and every event, even if you have 100 Windows machines, okay, you'll be storing them over here only, and all the Linux related will come and store here only. Okay, like this we will see, okay, the logs later, but now we understand the bigger picture of the systems. And you have routers, okay, Cisco routers, okay, all the logs. You have firewalls, all the logs. So when that, why it required is, if someone wants to see, the IT team wants to see firewall logs, they will just give the indexer name of the firewall. This is called as indexer name. This is called as indexer name. Each one thing bucket will be stored with one indexer name. This is one big database. Okay, one big database. This will have one indexer name. I will give that indexer name, and I'll give from if I have 10 routers, I will give particular router IP address or router host name. I will give here, and I will ask for the query what I want. Only the information for related to that particular host belongs to the indexer will be shown in the result. All other things will not show, because when a traffic comes um, from a specific machine, say for example I want to see a customer who is trying to log in, um, came up with some kind of service which is not allowed, so firewall team has to jump in. So firewall indexer they will put, and the host name, and that what is the IP address, like client IP depends upon your company name, might be using wherever you are going to join as a SOC analyst, might be using some different name, but IP of the customer, now I am writing it as client IP. The client IP you will be giving. Okay, and you want to see his activity, what he has done. Okay, so if you take it from router, okay, you will get the same logs, because the customer has come from a router to firewall, and firewall to WAF, and WAF to web server. Example. Okay. So if you want to see the activity of that user, you can take this log. So there is some alarm happened, some alert happened, which is very serious one. That guy who are come, someone somehow able to crash your machine. Okay. Now how come he went? So router, I mean like networking team, they'll come down and they will check the router logs, and the same way other team will be like jumping in, like web server team, they'll come and they will write, I mean like some web server will be there, right, some Windows web server. So so they will be like giving their index, and they will put their host name, because in which server it happened, that particular machine. Because this indexer is, if you have 10 Windows servers, all 10 Windows server logs will be stored within the same indexer. Okay, which belongs to like all application logs, application related server logs to be stored here itself, all database server related logs to be stored here itself. Okay, all Cisco router related logs to be shared here itself, because it is better managed. But if you have 10 routers, yes, 10 routers will have, but when I am adding them here to this logs, I have put, and I have added their host name, which log, which source has, which host has sent me this log, that thing I have appended over here. So anytime if I add this host name, then I'll pull those, that part I'll point to those logs only to that index, and I'll pull them. If you give further down, only the client with whom I have received the traffic, only the traffic whichever, only this, okay, this will only I'll display. If other things have different client IPs, I won't bring them to my Splunk console, GUI console, where I am searching and getting the results. Okay, so just remember, indexer is nothing but a database which will be storing all the information logs that are received from various parts of your organization. That can be a Windows server, Linux server, or it can be anything. Okay, just I want to give you this. Okay, how do I clear it? Okay, let me do it out sometime. This is what the mess I make. Okay, if I cancel it, then it won't store, I guess. Okay, let it be. Okay, so you are the analyst. What you are doing is logically just remember this. Okay, internally this is how happens. All these things you cannot see, you will see whatever in Splunk. When you open the query, whatever you give, okay, to get some data, it will go to search header. Okay, search header has to go and search in indexer, right? Correct, right? Indexer will have all the data, but what it does is it will go to management console host, like um, where the logs are actually stored. Okay, so it will go and ask here, and it will go for this particular indexer. Why this is required means, I'll tell you. If you have 1,000 employees, okay, and all are asking searching for any specific different of queries, how much load it will happen on the indexer? You might be knowing it, right? Okay, so to manage something, you need to have management console. The queries will be managed at management console. Boss already query, like you have like you, what you might have done, you have asked for the query and you have opened a new tab and you again started searching for new query. Okay, so your management console has configured in a way that if a user open tries to do more than 5 searches at the same instance of time, don't allow the sixth one. Make the sixth one in a queue. Okay, so what you have done, you have clicked on search and the search is happening, clicked on another one more query and search is happening, clicked on another tab and tried to search, the third one is also happening, fourth one happened, you tried fifth one. Okay, when it comes at the fifth one, the more than four times is the management control console limit. Then if you try that, it will make you, it will put you in queue. Let everything gets finished, then I'll allow you. Okay, that is what it happens. So this can be used for another one more purpose, like to reduce load on any specific indexer. Okay, like people are here, when 100 people are coming and asking, okay, already this is having 90% of the capacity, and this is having only 30% of the capacity of like the data which is getting from here to give it to the systems. So um, that time what it will do is, okay, the traffic whichever it has come, now I will be moving it to this. Okay, the request I will send them to, and why it happens is, this and this will have the same data, one more copy of the same thing. If you see data coming from some source is forwarding to this and as well as this. Don't think this is log management, but some companies, very big companies, what they do is they'll keep a copy, extra copy of it. If something goes wrong here, then we have a redundant server available here to run our business operations or business continuity without any interruptions. Okay, now this is called as redundancy. Okay, so and if you observe, logs are forwarded from one machine using a forwarding software which Splunk provides, and gives it to the indexers, and the users will connect to search it, will enter the data in the search tool in the GUI, that is nothing but the search head, and it will ask the management console whether which when to get this data, and management console will allow it, and comes to the indexer and pulls that data and shows it in whichever way based on the query input you asked over here on your screen. Okay, hope you understood that. um, that's what you are the user, you are requesting the indexer and you are sending it to the uh, you are getting the reports whatever you want from here, and you will get it. Okay, um, so guys, I hope like we are almost seeing this thing, and we have gone through it. Tomorrow we'll be starting with Splunk related aspects. I would request every one of you to install before tomorrow itself. Look some other videos somewhere available. Just installation. Better thing is go to Splunk document and go to the Splunk website and install it than any other thing. I would recommend you to do that. Okay, uh, it's just a matter of 5 minutes job. Okay, uh, I have very few slides that covers about the um, like some information on next what we are going to do. So